What is up, guys? Tech92 here, Beats Clan Live, bringing y'all a brand new video. Today we will be talking a little bit about this gameplay, but mostly we will be focusing on my character that I came up with, his storyline and everything, since you guys were really interested and I was getting some feedback saying, oh, Tech92, tell about it. Alright, well, let's get started. First things first, his name is Blitzstreak. I will put the name in the description or in the title. And he has a very interesting story. He is a Decepticon, but he is a different type of Decepticon. He doesn't just always follow Megatron's orders. He does whatever he feels is the right thing to do. He's a very tactical type person. The reason his name is Blitzstreak is because of the term Blitzkrieg, which means lightning war, and which, when you kind of think about it, it kind of means thinking really quickly on your feet. He gets out of any situation, whether it be fighting one person or 4 people or just one huge strong person like Bruticus or something like that. And how him and Megatron met was in the pits of Kaon, and in the book Transformers Exodus, that's where Megatron was fighting as a gladiator. Well, Blitzstreak was also like a gladiator as well. They both have high respect for each other. And when Megatron wanted to bring Cybertron back to the way, he thinks it should be fit, and not have people, be under class system to where, if you, quote unquote, have a child in a way, you're not going to be put in a class like, okay, you're just a librarian or whatever. Kind of like how Optimus was, he wanted it to be to where people would choose their own destiny. Well, Blitzstreak thought of the same way, but his was just a little bit different. Also, right here, after I die, which is like right about now, right there, this dude starts flying. He flies like through the level, right there. I don't know how he does it, but anyway, he sees things a little bit differently. He thinks the way Megatron is going about bringing the world back to the way it should be is just completely like wrong. He doesn't think that you should spread fear into people to try and gain respect. His is more of you gain respect by showing the type of person you are, and then you earn other people's respect. He's a very honorable type of Decepticon. He doesn't sit there and say, okay, you will respect me, and if not, I'll kill you. His is more of I earn your respect, and that's how it goes. And if I'm not respectful to you, then so be it. If you don't like me, I can't change your mind, type of thing. So he's kind of more of a peaceful person, but at the same time he's not. So the reason he is a Decepticon, that I chose him to be a Decepticon, is because of how much of a ruthless person he can be. For fighting in the pits of Kaon, it was basically either do or die. And he fought Megatron a few times. They know each other's styles in a way, and they just kind of not grew up together, but fought together and lived the same type of lifestyle. But their views on Cybertron are completely different when you get down to the bone of it. He sees more along the lines of kind of how Optimus does in a way, how Optimus kind of sits there and he's like, well, let's try and figure this out. Well, Blitzstreak is more of an honorable type person, like I've said. But anyway, Blitzstreak, he does, he will be kind of like how Starscream was in Prime, how he just kind of goes off on his own and everything. And the ironic thing is, he doesn't like the way Megatron thinks, so he does make friends with Starscream. Him and Starscream are good pals, and they talk every now and then, and he thinks that Starscream might be a decent leader of the Decepticons, as long as he has a little help from good old Blitzstreak to try and gain everyone's respect and everything. So Blitzstreak's best ability is a cloak ability, just like all of those pesky scouts out there, but he fights very strategically. He'll throw out, like, you know, smoke grenades or flashbang grenades or whatever, and you know he's a very good sniper. He can snipe you from, you know, however far away. You know, next thing you know, as you're walking, all of a sudden your head's gone and you're dead and you're sent to oblivion. Well, anyway, the whole thing of Blitzstreak, why he is like a not a loner, but the reason he left the Decepticons was because he lost a lot of respect for Megatron after a stunt that Megatron had pulled on him. They were all fighting with the Autobots one day, and then Blitzstreak kind of got had the upper hand, but then lost the upper hand and fell in a pit. And in this pit there was a bunch of Insecticons. Well, in this pit, Megatron walks by, and as Blitzstreak is like fighting, you know, he's taking on like a whole like nest of Insecticons, and you know how strong they are in Prime. And as he's fighting them, he looks above and he sees Megatron with his arms folded, and he says, "Help me." And after that, Megatron looks at him for a second, and he says, "You know, a true Decepticon warrior who fought in the pits of Chaos would be able to easily get out of here." And so he just leaves him there to fend for himself, which, you know, is kind of cruel. So after that, he was like thinking, you know, after all we've been through, you're not gonna help a fella out and, you know, try to get me out of here. So after that, he lost a lot of respect. Well, he makes friends with this other character. She is a fembot. They were really. She's a ruthless killer too. You know, it kind of like how Arachnid is, and she's cool because when she saw Blitzstreak, she went and actually saved him, and you know, they both fought him off together, and they both got out of there alive. Well, I can't really remember the name right now of the character. I was thinking kind of like a Stealth Fang or something like that. It's Stealth something. Stealth Wing, Stealth Fang, Stealth Stream. I had like a bunch of names and I can't figure out which one I want to use. Stealth Fang is the one that's really hitting me though. Well, anyway, Stealth Fang goes on a mission. I'm just going to stick with that right now. And it's to do something, and you know, she doesn't succeed in destroying the Autobots. And after that, Megatron, you know, Megatron's just, you know, he's Megatron, and he just punches the crap out of her, and you know, puts his foot upon her, and he's about to kill her. Well, all the Decepticon warriors are, you know, walking through the hallway, and they hear a commotion, so they all run in there. And Blitzstreak, he's just minding his own business, walking over there, and he just sees out of the corner of his eye all these people running in there. Or Megatron, and he's like, I wonder what's going on. So he walks in there. And after he walks in there, he sees his friend, and he quickly dashes toward her, sliding between Megatron's feet, kicking her out of the way, and then turning the gun onto Megatron and saying, "That's enough, Megatron. You know, you've taken it too far. You're really going to sit here and destroy one of your own just because they didn't succeed in a mission that you know good and well that was way too hard, and you know, not even you would be able to succeed in this type of mission." And Megatron goes on to say, "Oh, you dare to defy me," and all that other junk. And you know, Blitzstreak just basically says, "I'm done." Says, "You know, I've lost so much respect for you after that day." And Megatron knew that day he was talking about. And after that, he leaves. Well, you know, his pal, you know, he goes over there and he says his goodbyes to Starscream, because that's the only other person he actually made friends with that was actually still a good friend of his. And you know, because Starscream never double-crossed Blitzstreak, just because he knew. And even though he would try to double-cross Megatron, he definitely knew never to double-cross Blitzstreak, just because of how powerful Blitzstreak was, and how fast he could just tear him apart in just a matter of seconds, and just completely destroy him. So that's one reason why, you know, Starscream never, you know, tried to go toe-to-toe with him. So anyway, him and Stealth Fang actually leave together because of, you know, she had enough too, and she was like, you know, I saved your life, and everything, and, you know, you've been a pal of mine, you've always had my back, just like I've had yours ever since that day. So, you know, they joined together. Well, skip forward a few, years or whatever, whenever they fight again with the Autobots, the Decepticons, that is, well, Blitzstreak and Stealthfang actually, you know, they get in this fight, and, Blitzstreak wants revenge. He wants blood. He wants the blood of Megatron. He wants to see him, you know, completely destroyed just because of how much of a ruthless killer Blitzstreak can be. And, he's fighting, Megatron's fighting Optimus. You know, all the Decepticons are fighting the Autobots. And, it seems like, Megatron's starting to get the upper hand. And he calls Soundwave over, and Soundwave is about to, come over there and help Megatron. Well, all of a sudden, Blitzstreak makes his move. He cloaks, he transforms, rolls over there, full speed, transforms out of it, jumps in the air, does a dive kick, kicks Soundwave in the head, sends him flying towards another area. And then Megatron sits there in awe, and he's like, Blitzstreak. Well, at that point, Optimus kind of gains advantage again, but then Megatron, you know, doesn't let him. And, so Blitzstreak goes over there, and, you know, helps Optimus out, and then after that, Optimus says, thank you, I owe you one, and he says, don't worry about it, and then, you know, he starts fighting Megatron and everything, and then he gets him to the ground. Well, for some reason, when they're fighting, you know, Megatron kicks Blitzstreak away, just because he knows how powerful he is. And as Blitzstreak is flying through the air, he takes out his sniper rifle and shoots. Keep in mind, he's flying through the air, like, very high speed. So he shoots him. And Megatron gets the scar on his left cheek because he gets shot with one of the bullets in it. Scrapes across his face. And after he says that, Blitzstreak thinks in his mind, now that's going to be a reminder constantly to him of how close he was to dying by my hands. Well, ironically, they're at the same spot where Blitzstreak was thrown into. In the pit where all the Insecticons were. Well, Blitzstreak just starts thinking, and he's like, So, as he's fighting, he's slowly pushing Megatron further and further towards the pit. And, they're fighting back and forth. And then Blitzstreak finally, does a sweeping type move, gets advantage, and kicks Megatron in there. And, after that, he stirs up the Insecticons a little bit by shooting, throwing some grenades down there, and making it to where, you know, the first sight they see is Megatron. Well, Megatron sits there and he apologizes, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He says, please help me. And Blitzstreak does the same exact thing that Megatron does when Megatron did that to him. He folds his arms, he looks at him, and he says, a true Decepticon warrior would be able to get out of a situation such as this, especially after fighting and living in the pits of Kaon. And he just leaves him there. You know, he doesn't see that, you know, he dies or anything, but, you know, obviously Megatron gets out of there just because he's Megatron. And, later, Blitzstreak does live with that regret, sitting there saying, oh, wow, I should have just ended his life there, tore out his spark, and just sent him to oblivion from there. Well, after, this all happens, and Optimus comes back and he thanks Blitzstreak. He actually offers him a side on the Autobots. He says, you know, you're low in numbers, you know, with you and your pal here. So why don't you join the Autobots? And he sits there and he's like, I don't know about it. Well, eventually he does join the Autobots. Just because he actually has the same views as Optimus. He's just a lot more different because he's a ruthless killer and everything. And, you know, he's kind of like an honor and respect type person, kind of how Optimus is in a way. But if it comes down to it, he's not afraid to kill you, just kind of how Optimus is. I mean, how Optimus is like, oh, I retreat and all other stuff, and doesn't believe in, you know, okay, let's kill him unless it really comes down to it. You know, Blitzstreak is more of, I got him in my hands, I can kill him now, I can make him suffer, and that's what he was trying to do to Megatron. When he kicked him in there, he was trying to make him suffer and be torn apart and everything, and then he regrets it just because he didn't do it with his own hands and watch him die. But that's just kind of my story about my character that I came up with. There was another story about in the early days of Megatron and Blitzstreak when they were fighting before they kind of saw each other differently with their views on bringing Cybertron the way back to the way they thought it should be. But yeah, like the video if you guys like it, and let me know. And if y'all want another story, just let me know. But until then, guys, Tech Knight 2 is out.